What do you think are the true automotive icons, the cars that really stand out in history? Maybe a Porsche 911, the Volkswagen Beetle, a Mini, or even an FJ Holden. Or what about this? The Fiat 500, otherwise known as the Bambino. It's been born again for the 21st century. And where better to try it out than its home country of Italy. Yes, the Fiat 500 has been retroised, for want of a better term. And doesn't it look fantastic? I love what they've done with that exterior. They've managed to keep enough of the old car in there, but give it a bit of that modern flavour. I've got to be honest though, walking up to this car, one thing I was a tiny bit concerned about was exactly how I was going to fit in it. But no problems, it's actually fairly roomy, although I don't quite know how two of me are going to fit back there. Then again, it's not supposed to be a large car. And another thing that size has brought with it is extra safety. The Fiat 500 gets a maximum 5-star rating from the NCAP authority. Also comes with 6 airbags and stability control. Not bad for a tiny top. Another thing I love about the way they've tried to bring the past into the future is that it doesn't end with the exterior. Inside, it's just as funky, just as different. Okay, I'm not entirely convinced about these gauges having the tacho inside the Speedo, but it's different. The dash, love it. It looks different and it's even decent quality and looks fairly upmarket. But the 500 isn't completely true to the original. Remember the original had the engine out the back? Well, this one's a little more traditional in terms of modern standards. It's up the front, under that stubby bonnet. Now, speaking of engines, we'll get the choice of 3 in Australia, and they're all pretty small. The first is a 1.2 litre 4-cylinder, or there's a 1.4 litre 4-cylinder, or a 1.3 litre turbo diesel. Each will be hooked up to either a 6-speed manual transmission or a 6-speed dual logic, which is basically a semi-automatic, clutchless automatic thing. You can choose from about a dozen different keys, about 19 exterior sticker packages. I reckon those funky little Italian flag jobs that do me just beautifully. Also about 7 different alloy wheel colours, different trim colours, different dash colours. You name it, you can get it on the Fiat 500. So that's all good and well. You can choose your own car, you'll stand out from the crowd and all that stuff. But what's it like to drive? Well, I'm glad you asked. The Fiat 500 is actually a fair bit of fun. It's light and easy. Okay, you're not going to blow anyone off with the lights because it's a pretty frugal little engine, but it's also, well, not overly powerful. And I'm in one of the most powerful ones here, the 1.4 litre 4-cylinder. Still, for these roads, it gets along just fine. And you can have a bit of fun in the process. And you know, the thing I love most about the Fiat 500 is that it makes you smile. It's different, it's fun, it's funky, it's quirky, it's like no other car on the market. Perhaps that's why people are queuing for it when it arrives in Australia in about March 2008. Now, of course, the last piece of the 500 puzzle is pricing. It's either good or bad, depending on how you look at it. You see, it starts at about 22 grand and goes up to about $30,000. So it's either a sort of expensive tiny car or a really cheap and really bargain basement retro car. I reckon most people will probably think it's the latter.